Hola! Hi guys, it's Leisa Rayven here, author of Mieux re Mieux, Mina Julieta, and you're going to laugh at me trying to say Wicked Heart in Portuguese because I have no clue how it's pronounced, but I'm just going to say Caracau Perverso? I don't know. I really don't know. Someone's going to have to send me them pronouncing that name so I know how to say it for next time. But anyway, hi, how are you? I'm here to answer some questions for the book blog Livros Minha Terapia. Once again, my Portuguese is abominable, excuse me. So the lovely Lyra has asked me to answer some questions for you. So here we go. I've got them here on my little bit of paper. So I'm going to read them out as I answer them. Okay. Bad Romeo was your debut novel, and I'm curious about one thing. During the writing process, have you already had an idea that this is the very first book would result in a second or third one? Was it a plan to turn it into a trilogy? I actually wrote, originally Bad Romeo and Broken Juliet was a trilogy in itself. It wasn't 2 books, it was 3 books. But when I got the publishing deal, so I'd already written them. I didn't write them with a plan to publish them. I wrote them just because I felt like writing that story, and those characters kept talking to me, and I wasn't an author at the time, I was an actress. I had really no writing experience apart from writing in my spare time for my own enjoyment. So I just wrote those books with no view to ever publishing them. And it was one massive manuscript that was, 600,000 words long. And yeah, eventually, of course, when I decided to start looking for a publisher, I cut it up into 3 books. And one of the first things that happened was when I got an agent, a literary agent, she suggested we make it into 2 books because it was a bit long, because I'm a bit wordy. And so we cut it down into 2 books. So that's how it became Bad Romeo and Broken Juliet. So yeah, it was originally a trilogy. And then the 3rd book in the series, which is obviously now hitting stores in Brazil, came about because my editor at Macmillan, New York, when we were talking about the 3rd book in this series, she said, I want to hear Alyssa's story. I really love Alyssa as a character and I want to hear her story. So let's do her story for the 3rd book. So that's how that one came about. So yeah, pretty simple really. I hope that answers the question. Brazil was one of the countries where the Starcrossed series has become a bestseller. Do you realise how important this is, not only for you, but for a country where people don't have much of a habit of reading? And what do you think about it? I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that I'm a bestseller anywhere outside of my family. But Brazilian readers are astonishing. They're some of my favourite readers on the entire planet. And I actually didn't know until I read this question that there isn't much of a habit of reading in Brazil, because from everything that I've seen of Brazilian readers, they are ravenous and they are voracious and they're so passionate. It's astonishing, it really is. So I'm immensely honoured and touched that my books have become a bestseller in Brazil. I really, every day I'm just blown away that people read my words and actually like them, because it's a completely weird experience. As you can imagine, as I said before, I didn't write these books to be published. I wrote them because I really felt these characters just popped into my head one day and wouldn't stop talking to me. So the only way I could function was to write them down. So the fact that people are really falling in love with Ethan and Cassie is bizarre and amazing and wonderful. And I'm grateful to every single person, every one of you out there that reads my words and sends me lovely messages and tells me how much they enjoyed them. I'm absolutely blessed and honoured to have you guys in my life, and I'm thankful that I wrote these books that let us meet. So, love you. How did the idea of Ethan and Cassie's story come up? And what did you most find challenging about writing the series? Well, the whole idea behind Bad Romeo and Broken Juliet happened one night when I was watching TV, and there was the movie version of Romeo and Juliet was on, the one that Baz Luhrmann directed a few years ago and had Leonardo DiCaprio in it. And I sat there watching it, and I'd studied Romeo and Juliet in high school and I'd studied it in drama school, and I always hated Romeo, hated his guts, just thought he was just the most annoying man on the planet. He was so fickle and whiny and me. Rosalind broke my heart, but now I'm going to fall in love with this other chick and I'm going to propose to her within hours of meeting her. And oh, he just drove me insane. And I just had this idea of what would happen in modern day if Romeo was a modern man who had realistic modern feelings. After Rosalind broke his heart, there'd be no way he'd be all over Juliet. He would run away from Juliet. He would try to not interact with this woman who he has all these unbelievable feelings for, because he would be terrified of being hurt again the way Rosalind hurt him. So that's where the whole idea for the books came from. And once I started thinking about it, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I had to create Ethan and I had to create Cassie. And I wanted to put them in a setting in which I could torture them. So I put them in a drama school, because there's nothing worse than trying to stay away from somebody who terrifies you and then having to go on stage and perform these intensely passionate love scenes with them. So that was just my way of torturing my characters, which is what authors do. Yeah, you get that. And I think the most challenging part about writing the series was that I set it all in America. I set it all in New York and New York State and Broadway. And at the time, I had never been to New York or Broadway. So I did a lot of research on the internet. I mean, I knew how theatre worked, but I didn't know how theatre worked in America. So I had to research that really intensely. And I really worked very hard to make sure that my American readers could read all of those details about New York and Broadway and not go, oh, this Aussie doesn't know what she's talking about. She has no clue. So yeah, I worked hard to make it realistic. I guess that was pretty challenging. I choose to write in a theatrical environment about the backstage and all that comes with it. They're things you know very well. Was there any pressure from friends to know if the book was based on something you've lived? Well, anyone who went to drama school with me will recognise some of the people, some of the situations, and some of the events. And in fact, some of the names. I didn't disguise some of them terribly well at all. So yeah, I mean, it's based on my experiences in drama school. Not all of it, of course. Most of it is fictional, but every now and then I'll pepper in a bit of something that happened to me at drama school or happened to a friend at drama school. And I think that sort of gives it a nice sense of realism. And, you know, all of the insecurities that come with being an actor and that Cassie has and that Ethan has, they're insecurities that all actors really suffer from. I mean, if you show me a confident, well-adjusted actor, I'll show you a bad actor, because there's something about being insecure and always searching to find answers to our own personal issues that makes an actor good, makes them vulnerable and interesting to watch. So yeah, I think definitely a lot of my friends from drama school have read my books and gone, I remember that happening. Anyway, it was fun. What am I up to at the moment? And I'm working on something new. Yes, I'm working on lots of somethings new, actually. I've got lots of stuff coming up. I'll be hopefully announcing a Christmas project soon, so keep an eye out for that. I've got 3 books that I hope to publish next year, but knowing how slow I am, I'll probably only publish 2 of them next year. And I've got about 10 other projects that I've outlined and I am dying to write. So I just need more hours in the day and I'll be able to write more. But lots of stuff coming up, and as soon as I have official things to tell you guys, I will make sure you know about them. Wicked Heart has just hit the stores in Brazil. What do you expect from your readers after reading this one? Well, you know, I was terrified releasing Wicked Heart because I thought there's so much passion, particularly in Brazil, for Cassie and Ethan. How on earth are people going to react to Liam and Alyssa? And I was really, really worried that they would not warm to them as they have and embrace them as they have Cassie and Ethan. But from the reviews that I've seen so far and the reaction I've had from my Brazilian readers, they're loving them. They're loving Alyssa and Liam. And that's great because I loved them and I loved writing them. And people are loving Angel and Josh. So hopefully I'm going to write a little bit more about them, perhaps, maybe. So yeah, I'm really thrilled with the reaction so far. I really hope you guys enjoy it when you get to read it. It was a lot of fun to write Wicked Heart, and I hope you have as much fun reading it. Can I talk about the Bad Romeo short movie? Is there any release date settled? Oh my God, you guys, getting a movie made is insane. So we're in the post-production process at the moment, and post-production takes the longest because you've got to take hundreds of hours of footage and shape it into this, a few minutes of film. So I have a team working on it at the moment, piecing it together, finding music, you know, doing technical stuff that I don't really understand, but they tell me is super important for a movie. So it's in post-production. I really hope we get it finished by the end of the year. And as soon as I have a firm update on that timeline, I will let you guys know that too. And final question, would you like to come to Brazil? And what do you have to say to your Brazilian readers? I would love to come to Brazil, you guys. And honestly, a few weeks ago, my wonderful Brazilian publishers emailed me and said, would you like to come out to the Sao Paulo biennial book event? And I said, oh, hell yeah, I would. So we really worked very hard to try and make it happen. But it was kind of, I think the Olympics has made things very difficult in Brazil around that time, because I was supposed to come over in the last week of August to see you guys. But with the Olympics, it is crazy pants getting any sort of travel arrangements and accommodation and flights, and it's just, I just think it was just impossible, not meant to be this year. And honestly, you guys have got enough on your plates with the Olympics happening. So now we're thinking I will come next year. It's not confirmed, so don't kill me if it doesn't happen, but that is the plan at this stage, is to come and see you all next year. And I honestly can't wait, because I love all of my Brazilian readers. I think you guys are remarkable. And as I said, I'm so blessed to have you. You make me feel special every single day. And I can't wait to see you and hug you and have fun with you and shenanigans with you in Brazil. So until then, much love from Australia. Ciao, everyone.